All right, we can work with this. There's some promising things here with an offensive line that isn't probably even going to be the starting offensive line. Agumbawale on this 10-play, 74-yard drive. Agumbawale was a big driving force, but running behind an offensive line that did really, really well. Just watch the line of scrimmage here. Let's just look at that blue line there, and let's see the movement that we get, which we didn't always see all that often. Juice Scruggs, Ariante Ursary, and Jakob Johnson, the fullback, just clearing space for Agumbawale. Agumbawale ran real well with good vision. 2nd and 6. This is going to be that nice pass to Cade Stover. And a couple interesting things to watch here. For one, real good decision-making by Davis Mills. I want you to watch Ariante Ursary. This is bordering on a leg whip off to the left there. I don't know if it was you don't want to get in the business of trying to get away with that too often. And I'm also just going to assume that the ball was designed to come out quickly here, because cut blocking out on the edge is it's a nice strategy at times in the quick game, but if it hadn't worked out well, you just kind of all or nothing on that. So Ariante Ursary had a really good game today. I'm not going to, by rookie standards especially, so I'm not going to worry about that. That'll get cleaned up. Next play, 1st and 10. And I got this from the Minnesota broadcast, where the broadcaster just really loves saying Agumbawale. Again, nice block. And watch Ariante Ursary, left tackle there. Cade Stover's the tight end. Ursary does it. You know what? This is kind of a vet move here, because he just gathered up, shoved his hips to him, had good placement, and just didn't necessarily have great body position, but just kept motoring him out of there. And good job by Cade. Juice Scruggs in this game, I think he's just a little bit away from being really, really good, but at the initial part, when he was working double teams, if you can watch the left guard right there, does a good job of working up to the backer. Just couldn't quite stay attached to him. I mean, it still helps him get extra yardage. Yeah, they showed a clip of this on the Minnesota broadcast. You know, he just gets out in space, and a couple times today I saw he just couldn't quite keep driving guys out in the open field. This next one is going to be Agumbawale to the right. This one, Blake Fisher, you can see, kind of gets stood up, loses it. Probably should have put this in slow motion for you guys. This new software is working out, though. I just got to get comfortable with it. But if you watch the right tackle there, Cade Stover's to his right. Just kind of gets controlled there. Jakob Johnson comes up and has a nice block. But Cade Stover couldn't quite sustain his either. But not horrendous, but not the best example. This one, great job by Ursary. Good job by Cade Stover. Agumbawale bounces it out. Boop, bop, bop, bop. Agumbawale. You know, there was a former head coach that I don't think was all that fond of Agumbawale, but he's managed to stick around forever. This was beautiful. Cade did a good job, just obviously getting rid of the ball quickly to this one was to Mechie. Mechie ended up having 5 receptions in this game. You watch, I mean, Minnesota, they showed a lot of simulated blitzes, but they didn't get too funky with their coverage. So when you watch Davis go through his decision-making here, you got that safety up off on the right hash. Mechie bends that. Mechie's all the way to your left downfield there. Bends that out, and then just seeps right into the hole. Backers weren't deep enough. Good job by Davis recognizing it. I have to watch this with Ursary again. So Ursary, the left tackle. Oh, this is good. So Ursary in college, one of the weaknesses that people said he had was sometimes when people slanted inside, he didn't redirect quickly enough. So if you watch the left tackle, and if that's Dallas Turner, I'm not sure, slants to the inside, Ursary could be out of position there, but he ends up, uses those arms of his, does a really good job of just washing him down. Credit to Agumbawale for bouncing it outside. We've got Is that Watson? I think Watson, the receiver right there at the very bottom. Getting a block there. Downfield blocking by wide receivers. You'd love to see it. 2nd and 3. Oh, yeah, this one. Oh, okay. For one, Blake Fisher was not having a great down on this, but Mills gets rid of it. And, you guys worried about whether or not Caley was going to be able to scheme guys wide open. Man, that was he was schemed open. Just misfire, either misfire or unless, I don't know, Cade was supposed to be extending that further. Who knows? 3rd and 3. This is going to be, okay. This one, if you had watched beforehand, I have to cut these up so we don't get copyright violations during the live stream and shut us down. But if you watch, there was a lot. Davis had to make a few checks here, and every single one of these snaps, they've gotten up to the line, and the quarterbacks had 15 seconds or so to operate. So this one, they ended up getting the ball off right at the play clock at almost down to 0 there. But they don't ultimately get it off because Blake Fisher gets the false start. Not a great day for Blake Fisher. 3rd and 8. Ooh, this is going to be the Davis Mills screen, or excuse me, the Jalen Knowles screen. So let's watch the play. And Jalen, good job, breaks a tackle. He's a strong dude, remember. He's not big, but he's strong as hell. If you see Blake Fisher down there at the bottom and Brevin Jordan blocking. Brevin does a good job. Blake's guy gets away from him, but Knoll has to break that tackle. It's not been a great camp for Blake Fisher, and I don't think he was the weakest of the 5 offensive linemen, and he's out there starting just because they weren't going to play Titus Howard, and then he let up more pressures later on in the game. Ooh. Braxton Berrios, or as the Minnesota announcer was calling, Braxton Berrios. Dude, his girlfriend is a very famous influencer. I'd suggest you learn her name. All right, on the boot here. Watch number 54. Poor 54. He's even if it was run, he's taking a bad angle to the run, and he just gets duped inside, and they're just loses leverage completely. Braxton Berrios. So again, another wide open receiver. I'm happy about this. I got to pull this green screen down. Whoop, and then we'll do a little. See if I'm still learning this software. Everybody, remember, bear with me. See if I can get this right. Yeah, there we go. Let's just let this run so you guys can watch it while it's going. Yeah, whatever. Let me get the comments up here. It's getting late at night. And I'm still learning this crap. See if you guys could hear me the whole time too. Awesome. I know you're here for Jamal Hill, Tobias, but I'm just watching the first drive right now. I was trying to take care of a bunch of other stuff and trying to watch some of the game. I know this might be random, but I'd like to see some of EJ's Speed's work from the game. I'll do that tomorrow. It's getting a little too late. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you brought this up, DeMonte Magic. Halfbacks picking up blitzes. Good development. And it wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. I think across the board, if there's one thing that I feel from today really might stick, it's that it was clean football. Blitzes were picked up. There were times that the defensive line for the Vikings, even though that Vikings defense wasn't as exotic as they can be, the O-line handled it pretty well with the starters when they were still out there. Ursary only played 1 series and played well when he was in there. I think that he's kind of careening towards probably being a starter. I don't know what Cam Robinson's total situation is right now, but I think he's got a lot of potential. He uses his length really well. I talked to Daniil Hunter the other day, and Daniil talked about how he's a technique guy. He's got those long arms and uses his hands. I think there's a lot of potential there for him. But good point, DeMonte Magic, about the halfbacks picking up the blitzes. Jamal Hill is one of the guys that I was excited to see today, and he made some nice athletic plays. Didn't play linebacker until his last year at Oregon, so he was still raw when he got here. And had probably a lot of learning to do last year. The linebackers are kind of stacked right now, if and when Christian Harris ever returns healthy. Lots of examples of the QB and center working through protections before the snap this game. Yeah, good job, good point, Brandon. I thought the process at the line of scrimmage was really good. I thought when it came to the checks, when it came to the pass protection, and when it came to identifying potential blitzers, checking in or out of the run at times, I think Davis Mills did that. It looked really good. I think that when CJ gets up there, hopefully it looks just as smooth. They'll start to, obviously in the regular season, they'll face some tougher. Okay, thanks, Freeze. Cade stopped on that route. Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it. It's interesting. This is where I'm willing at this point, because in the scrimmage on Thursday, there was a similar scenario with CJ and Dalton Schultz, where Dalton was open, and I can't remember if I think CJ overthrew him kind of the same way Davis did, or at least it looked like he overthrew him. And I think this might be just a little bit of miscommunication of these guys still trying to figure out the offense. I'll make every excuse in the world right now, but I'm not overly worried about that. Love you too. Sports Talk with D. Thank you. Yeah. Blake lost that rep. Yeah, I think I didn't say he won one, did I? It was there were a few reps that he lost. Ursery is a future All-Pro. Jamal Hill popped a lot to me tonight. After the first game, the game was generally pretty bad. There's some bright spots that I'll get to tomorrow when I do a total recap of the highs and the lows. Just to look at the box score, just to jog my memory a little bit. Why don't we just pull the box score up here? No, I'm not advanced enough yet with this software. I mean, Keaton Slovis was 11 for 15 with 4.7 yards per attempt. Graham Mertz threw 3 interceptions, and they weren't pretty interceptions. There was a lot of ugliness. The running backs, I'm torn on the running backs. Jawar Jordan had 6 carries for 18 yards. And yet, I felt kind of encouraged by his performance. His ability to just hit the hole hard as an undersized back, he makes up for it with big cojones. And I don't think the blocking was as good when he was in there. So I was intrigued by him. The fact that they used a fullback a lot, especially on that first drive, or at least and then in short yardage situations, I think that's a promising development. And I know. Listen, everybody, the run game pendulum is swinging back. The defenses are light in the ass. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to start leaning into using heavier personnel on offense and just running the ball. The Eagles and the Ravens and other teams did it pretty damn well against teams last year, and defenses have just been focused on the pass game for so long that I think there's a reason running backs all of a sudden are getting paid again, or at least some of them are. So oh my gosh, that was okay. So Graham Mertz did have a good day rushing the ball, 1 for 9 yards. So he had the highest yards per attempt rushing the ball. In terms of passing, Graham was 7 for 14, 1.9 yards per attempt. Keaton Slovis, 11 for 15 for 71 yards. He was 4.7 yards per attempt. Davis Mills, 4 for 5, 10 yards per attempt. Agumbawale had 5.8 yards per carry. J.J. Taylor only had a couple carries for 5 yards. So John Mechie, I think, John Mechie, Braxton Berrios, and then Jalen Noel on that one play, especially that we just watched. Very, very pleased with him. A lot of guys on defense popped. Multiple guys pointed out Jamal Hill. Shouldn't receivers try to touch uncatchable passes? That Mertz interception in the fourth seemed like the wide receiver was after to tip it up. Is that what is trained? Yeah, I want to go back and watch that again. I had the same thought, and I just haven't watched I was waiting for the All-22 to come out idiotically, like it was going to come out immediately after the game, and I was trying to catch up around the league. Jamal Hill, a lot of people excited about Jamal Hill. So thank you. I spent far too much time trying to figure out this new software before tonight. I'll try to do these reactions quicker. I got 1 thumbs down already, huh? Who the hell gave me a thumbs down? Hey, make up for that. I'm going to tell you about something. There's one guy out there There's one guy out there that really doesn't like me because a lot of times, look, you're always going to get some thumbs down, but there's always one. I'll do the most positive video in the world, and there's almost always in all my videos, there's some videos I've done where it's like 299 thumbs up and one single thumbs down. So I'm not freaked out that one person would dislike me. If anything, I probably should have more dislikes because it would mean that I was angering people and I was inciting emotion, and then they would hate watch me. But there's one guy. The chances that it would so often be like 150 likes and only one dislike as opposed to 0 dislikes or 3 dislikes, it's one guy out there. And I'm just fascinated. I'm fascinated by how much he hates me. So balance it out with some thumbs up, please. Yeah, hit the like button. Yeah, British Brooks on special teams. Yes. He did this last year too, remember? British Brooks will come up and wallop a bro. Noel needs more credit for his playing strength. There was one bad throw that he turned into positive yardage. I really need to see more of him. You're going to see Noel this year. Christian Kirk's going to start at the slot, but I think they're going to get Noel on the field. He's a bad dude, man. I almost called him a bad little dude, but that almost sounds like a backhanded compliment. He's way... in the vein of a lot of other smaller receivers of the past that have really strong legs and can break tackles that you don't expect him to break, he very much looks like that. And somebody, don't make this political. Maybe so. It's Easterby disliking you. Oh, by the way, speaking of Easterby, it's gotten interesting, man. I'll tell you what, the tone around that organization and the people who work like the people who work in different departments and everything, it's just so much more relaxed. It's so much more positive. It's like people are really, really excited to be working for the Texans now in a way that they just flat out weren't 2 or 3 years ago. I was talking to Hannah McNair about it, and I said there are elements of when people would go to observe China when Mao Zedong was in charge. Mao Zedong would always put on a big show of making it look how happy, joy everything was. But there were like some people that noticed that like everybody had a facial tic. There were just people walking around that were just absolutely miserable because they were so stressed out all the time, and vast swaths of the population were being intentionally starved by Mao. It was a stressful time. And it was only a little bit more stressful than working under the Easterby regime, I think. I'm obviously exaggerating there. F that hater. Either the thumbs down guy or Mao Zedong, whoever it might be. Just off the few plays he had, you can see how explosive he's going to be. I'm not concerned about Jaden Higgins, and I want to watch the All-22 before I get nervous about making sweeping judgments based on the TV copy, other than that Blake Fisher had a rough day, and there's some other things that we can look at, but man, that was rough. That was really rough. I want to see Brooks pass rush. Yeah, he looks like a guy that I could see him being the kind of guy that sticks around almost like a Gumbawale, and they figure out a way to use him in all different manner of ways, and maybe as a pass rusher every now and then, or as a blitzer. So I'll have more of a comprehensive review of the game tomorrow, and thank you to everybody else for watching and bearing with me through all.